Hello, football fans. Welcome back to Goalside. Romelu Lukaku is perhaps the best Belgian striker of all times, banging in goals left, right, and center wherever he played. Lukaku is now lighting it up in Italy with Inter, displaying a full array of his talent to the world, but that hasn't always been the case. Lukaku had a rough time growing up in Belgium, which in the end formed him into the man he is today. So, let's dig in. Romelu Lukaku was born in May of 1993 in Antwerp. His parents were Roger and Adolphine Lukaku. At the time of Romelu's birth, his father Roger played for Serang in Belgium. Roger, just like Lukaku's mom Adolphine, was Congolese descent, but football made it possible for him to move to Belgium and create a life for his family. Just when Romelu's dad was finishing his professional football career, around 1999, the young Lukaku signed up for the local club from Antwerp, Roepel Boom, at just 5 years of age. But the struggle was real for the Lukaku family. His dad was running out of money from football, and they quite literally had nothing to eat. Romelu recalls his mom preparing them bread and butter just to make it enough so her two sons could have their lunch. However, one day when Romelu returned home, he had found his mom mixing milk with water just so she could make it last a whole week. It was a dead end. But at just 6 years old, Lukaku at the time knew he had to do something. So he says this, "Mom, it's going to change. You'll see. I'm going to play football for Anderlecht. And it's going to happen soon. We'll be good. You won't have to worry anymore," Romelu told his mother. He then went on to ask his dad when is the earliest age that he could become a professional footballer. His father replied 16. Romelu then thought to himself, okay, 16 then, according to his own confession. Romelu was determined to succeed, and he obviously made a lot of progress as the time went on, because a much bigger club from Antwerp, Lierse, scouted Romelu and decided that he's good enough to join their academy. He spent 2 years at Lierse playing in youth ranks, and he wasn't just a passenger either. Lukaku scored 121 goals in just 68 matches, but Lukaku's domination was noted very quickly, and Lukaku got into all sorts of trouble just because he was physically much more gifted than any other player on the pitch of his age. False rumors among parents and opposition managers spread the word that Romelu was born in Africa and that the boy was faking his age. Even though Romelu Lukaku was born and raised in Belgium, it went so far that his mom had to bring birth certificates to her son's matches. The player's agent today, Mino Raiola, even spoke about it once. For Lukaku, this has always been a problem. I was talking to his mother. Eventually, she went to youth matches with the birth certificate. She always ended up with other parents who didn't think he was 12 or 14 years old. It was always a fuss that he scored 3 or 4 goals. He was bigger and physically strong, yes, but they screamed that he wasn't in the right age group. So she took the birth certificate. He was born in Belgium, but they spread false reports that he'd been born in Africa. Here it is, she said. Lukaku himself remembers the roughest days from that period, noting, "When I was 11 years old, I was playing for the Lierse youth team, and one of the parents from the other team literally tried to stop me from going on the pitch. He was like, 'How old is this kid? Where's his ID? Where is he from?' I thought, 'Where am I from? What? I was born in Antwerp. I'm from Belgium.' My dad wasn't there because he didn't have a car to drive to my away games. I was all alone, and I had to stand up for myself. I went and got my ID from my bag and showed it to all the parents, and they were passing it around, inspecting it, and I remember the blood just rushing through me, and I thought, oh, I'm going to kill your son even more now. I was already going to kill him, but now I'm going to destroy him. You're going to drive the boy home crying now." Anderlecht bought Lukaku in 2006 as they took advantage of Lierse dropping off into the second division. Romelu was now a step closer to fulfilling his promise in a bid to put food on the table for his mother. Not much changed at Anderlecht on the pitch. The enormous boy, for his age, scored 131 goals in 93 matches in youth competitions for Anderlecht. But once he got into the under-19 team, Lukaku ran into some more trouble. The manager suddenly started benching him, and that didn't fit Lukaku's plans to turn pro at 16. So, in an attempt to switch things up, he put a bet with his coach. Lukaku promised that he'd score 25 goals by December, and if he was unable to fulfill his promise, he'll sit on the bench for the remainder of the season. Who won the bet? Well, Lukaku scored the 25 goals. Not by December, but in November. It was May 13th, 2009 when Romelu Lukaku signed his first ever professional contract with Anderlecht on his birthday, and his dream came true. But little did he know that it was just the beginning. A sad story turned into a thrilling and inspiring one just by hard work, effort, and relentless work from a boy who had one single goal from his earliest days: to feed his family. What happened next is the thing straight out of the movies. Lukaku's Anderlecht were playing a two-legged final against Standard Liège, and the stake was the biggest there is: the Belgian League title. This meant everything to both sets of clubs and fans, and nobody wanted to let it slip. When the first match took place, Romelu was with the reserve team as usual, and then something amazing happened. The first team wanted Lukaku to join them in the preparations for the second match of the final. Lukaku still remembers the conversation word for word to this day. "Hello? Hello, Rom. What are you doing?" About to go play football in the park? No. Pack your bags right now. What? What'd I do? No, you need to get to the stadium right now. The first team wants you. Yo, what? Me? Yeah, you. Come on! Romelu Lukaku joined the first team's training. He proved himself so much that the manager actually put him in the squad for the return leg of the final. And when Lukaku debuted at 16 years of age, it was everything he'd ever wished. The team lost, but it was then that Romelu knew he'd become a great player. We lost the final that day, but I was already in heaven. I made good on my promise to my mom and to my granddad. That was the moment I knew we were going to be okay. Lukaku's progress to the stars is nothing short of extraordinary. As a young boy, Lukaku couldn't even afford cable TV, causing him to miss all those historic moments in the Champions League and the Premier League. And about 10 years later after that, he was working with Thierry Henry in the national team, as the Frenchman was showing him the ropes, teaching him all sorts of things. Not only that, but Romelu was doing everything to make up for lost time. He's obsessed with watching football whenever he's not playing it, but there's one person that watches more football than him, and that's Thierry Henry himself. As Lukaku once said, when we were kids, we couldn't even afford to watch Thierry Henry on the match of the day. Now I'm learning from him every day with the national team. I'm standing with the legend in the flesh, and he's telling me all about how to run into space like he used to do. Thierry might be the only guy in the world who watches more football than me. We debate everything. We're sitting around and having debates about German second division football. So when you see all the confidence in Lukaku's eyes nowadays, always remember his upbringing. He wants it all, and he learned a long time ago that there are no boundaries for him in life. When he first joined Chelsea, Lukaku didn't feature much, and he was quickly shipped off to West Bromwich. But this didn't stop him. He scored goal after goal in the most demanding league on the planet. When Chelsea shipped him out once again to play for Everton, he impressed, becoming almost a club legend in his short time there. Lukaku scored 68 goals in 141 matches for the Toffees, proving that he can do it anywhere. The big Manchester United move happened afterward, but Romelu remained humble and down to earth. He just played football without the need from his mother to carry around his birth certificate, not worrying about putting food on the table, and no more milk and water mixing. So don't be surprised if you witness Romelu Lukaku becoming one of the greatest strikers of all times at Inter Milan. Under Antonio Conte, he's more than brilliant, scoring week in and week out, keeping his team's chances for the league title very much alive. His shots are still full of passion and fury, too. Lukaku injured Napoli's goalkeeper Alex Merritt the other day after placing a 111km/h strike toward the goal. The unlucky goalie got to the ball, but it was just way too strong, causing it to slip behind the line, initiating Lukaku's celebration. Everyone can learn a bit from Lukaku's story. He's a beast who wants to watch and learn. More importantly, he always believes in himself no matter what the world says about him. Even his younger brother, Jordan Lukaku, made it as a footballer, and he's now a steady member of Lazio for a couple of seasons running. Still, Romelu is more successful than his brother and many other footballers. His career stats confirm the suspicion, too. Romelu Lukaku scored 203 goals in his professional career so far. The kid that used to be insulted because he had Congolese roots and who was suspicioned to have faked his age is now the best scorer in the history of Belgium, with 52 goals to his name, and it doesn't look like he's stopping. He won PFA Player of the Month award back in 2016-17 season playing for Everton, as well as getting included in the PFA Team of the Year of that same season. It was a funny twist of fate for Lukaku. He mentions Ronaldo Nazario de Lima as his footballing role model. Ronaldo was perhaps most famous for his performance at Inter, and now Lukaku is leading Inter's line just the way the Brazilian used to back in the day. Romelu speaks with great admiration about the legendary Ronaldo. Ronaldo changed football. He was the one you'd watch. You'd see him doing step-overs and you were thinking, who does this? You would see defenders falling over and you were like, whoa, the goals that he scored, and at crucial times, he scored goals where you were like, oh man, this can't be serious. Romelu Lukaku rose from a poor family barely having anything to eat to a full-fledged professional who feeds his and lots of other families through humanitarian work. He bought the love of Belgian people with his performances, the ones that insulted him when he was in the youth ranks. He is the living legend and the best striker of our generation, the one and only Romelu Lukaku.